Coin drop. Screen flash. The high score. Boss laugh.
Thumb sore, same fight. Lost track of the time all night. Snacks gone, eyes red. Still shouting one more instead. Distracted gamers, press start. Button mashing from the heart. Round one, game on. We get hit, go harder. Distracted gamers, press start.
Oh my gosh. I was going to start out really low energy, and I decided not to. Hopefully Jason is here and present. He is not. Podcast Red. As if it isn't already.
Podcast Jason?
No. Oh, yeah. Jason is here. We have a podcast, everybody. Who knows where Silver is? She has homework or something responsible to do. Ross is at the funeral of a loved one. I don't think it's still
sucks.
going, but it's an aunt of his. I inappropriately sent him a message where I was like, would it be appropriate in a show of support to send you a GIF in your time of mourning? And he didn't respond for a couple hours, and I was like, was that too far?
I
did
don't know. I
eventually.
mean, it doesn't sound like. I mean, you weren't coming out and saying, "I'm going to send you this really inappropriate GIF." You're saying, "Can I send this to you?" So I think there was some respect there. It wasn't just a, "Hey, here's this questionable GIF that I'm going to send you, regardless of the fact that you may or may not be ready for it." So,
I was gonna send it was something like, what does the fox say? I'm sorry for your loss, sort of thing. It ended, I couldn't find that GIF a lot later, and I ended up saying sending something like a black guy holding like a gremlin or a gnome. Made no sense whatsoever.
for future reference, if I have to go to a funeral, go ahead and send me that GIF. I'm perfectly fine with it.
Look, what are you supposed to do when you're a friend and you don't know this person and you're not entirely sure how close you were, but it's a somber occasion, but you know what I mean? And it's like Ross
You gotta
knows
cheer 'em up.
well, Ross knows I do stupid nonsense like that, but it's like,
Right.
who knows? It suddenly just take it way too seriously.
Well, like I said, you try to, your friend, you commiserate with them, sure, but you also try to cheer them up. That's
Well, the thing is,
so-
it also seems like something I would do where I would take it way too seriously just to screw with them. How could you? Look,
Yeah.
we're mourning over here. My mother's really upset. I'm so sorry.
I showed my mother this GIF you sent, and she thought you were horrible.
She thought you'd gone too far. You ruined the funeral.
And then I showed everyone else. I got up in front and went and showed the crowd, and they thought you were horrible too.
I don't know if it's meant for public consumption. You know, there's always an opportunity to ruin everything,
Yeah.
to make something worse. It is the DG podcast. Me and Jason are hanging out alone, as it always was meant to be. Because that's how the podcast always started. Me and Jason wasting time. I wanted to have a bit more of a casual conversation.
Okay.
I know late. I watched Project Hail Mary.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, well, hit while the iron's hot, everybody, because it was the big thing to talk about a week or two ago. Well, I saw it because I wanted to see it.
I've heard that it's a really good movie. I've also heard, different things like, if more movies were, made in that vein, kind of thing.
Well,
I've heard a couple of things about it.
Well, I could tell you the immediate response from my mother and my sister after we got out was basically, that was a lot of fun. They don't make movies like that anymore. Was essentially
that's kind of what I've been hearing as well online.
And it's funny because you look at a lot of contemporary media at the moment, and we have Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is pretty much an entire Trump allegory, where ICE is going around arresting superheroes in the Marvel universe.
Yes, that's what ICE would do.
And basically, Kingpin is Trump. And it's like, okay, great. And then we have Star Trek Academy that recently got canceled. Apparently it got canceled so hard they tore the sets down. So it's not coming back. Like they tore the sets apart. Let's see what else we got. Everybody's talking about Harry Potter and how Black Snape contextually changes everything, to the point where SNL actually made a joke about Black Snape, where they had a guy dressed up as Black Snape on Weekend Update. And he made the joke of like, how come Harry immediately suspected the black guy of stealing the Sorcerer's Stone? And I'm like, exactly. It makes everything different. And the fact that they feel open enough to laugh about how stupid this is and how this can change a lot of things contextually. It's such a bad idea. It's such a bad idea. And what else we got? What else are our contemporaries? The Boys, Season 5, the end of The Boys, which
that's
people have been saying it's not a political show, when the director has flat out been saying it is absolutely a political show. And if the election had happened before they had finished Season 5, they would have put so much more commentary on politics and stuff. And I get that people might have concerns or upset about current political climate, let's say in this country or the world or whatever. The Oscar winner lost money. No one went to go see it, but it's the best movie of the year. And I'm looking around going, everything is so hyper-political commentary, and I'm sick of it. And we've had these complaints before, and it's Silver. Hey, I was going to do a joke when you got here. Dang it, Silver!
Do it now!
I don't remember. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. This is the DG Podcast. Silver, the only important person on the podcast, has finally arrived.
Yep, I'm here. You can finally afford me.
Your $0 a year plus benefits.
The benefit being that we get to insult her?
No, that's a perk.
Perk benefit, there you go.
So, and it's like, everything's, look, we've complained about the hyper-politicization of everything we do. This is not a new complaint from this podcast. So the reason why it's a complaint is because simply having political takes does not mean it's going to be a good movie. In fact, oftentimes it's an indicator it's not going to be good. Because you're more focused on your messaging than you are on a good story or good character development or what have you.
Well, it becomes the linchpin of the movie. And if that's your linchpin around which everything revolves, if not everybody is as hyper focused on that as you are, they're just feeling that you're shaming or you're talking down or whatever else. And it's like, why would I sit here for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and have you berate me? That's not entertaining.
And it's just exhausting. And these are the big things people are talking about this week. It's freaking The Boys, which is a hyper commentary, which the comic wasn't, but it's a hyper commentary on the right wing and Trump or whatever. And we get freaking Daredevil Born Again, a hyper commentary on Trump or the right wing or ICE or something. The Oscar winner, which is a commentary on ICE and immigration, and oh my gosh, so here's where I saw Project Hail Mary Silver, and I'm not here to review the movie, but one thing the movie did, which I feel like me and a lot of other people got, was it didn't preach to me or talk down to me. It was a positive story with well-developed characters that I cared about and I hoped would make it. And they gave me stakes and threats and things to overcome. It was a problem-solving movie like a classic Star Trek kind of would be, where they're trying to fix an issue that's of big importance. And it's him and an alien, which has been spoiled in the trailers. Trying to fix a problem, and it's great. And you have that interesting Star Trek dynamic of the Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, where they don't speak conceptually the same, so you have to learn things like concepts similar to one another.
Right.
And then there's this learning and growth, and the characters trust each other and care about each other, and then they go through these difficulties of trying to solve the problem. And it's classic movie storytelling. It's classic storytelling where I'm with you. I'm on this journey. It's not a message. It's not Star Trek Academy where everybody's most important aspect is identity or sexuality or their political angle or whatever. It took me on a journey, and I enjoyed my time, and I cared about the characters, and then I got out, and I was like, I enjoyed that. And I had fun. And I got to thinking to myself, it's like, when was the last time I really felt like I had fun with a new movie? I mean, I was more disgusted watching Superman.
Yeah.
I genuinely hated it's not the recent one, Bone Temple, but the one that came before. It was just a bad movie. Megalopolis was just a bad movie. And how often are we actually running into modern films that we're just enjoying ourselves? And this also brought up the issue of nostalgia seems to be the king. If you watch trends on Twitter and Facebook and social media, it's nostalgia in film and stuff, but it's also nostalgia in video games. A lot of really popular video game channels are like classic video game channels, or channels about modding your console, or channels about some classic game or one another. I have recently started playing Chrono Trigger. Now I own Chrono Trigger. It's the PlayStation version with the cool intro animated by Dragon Ball Z guy. And I'm sitting there playing, and I'm having a lot of fun. And I thought to myself, well, this game's great. It's great because it's one of the most classic RPGs of all time. It's considered one of the best classic RPGs of all time. But it's like, how do I explain that to a modern person that doesn't actually care about these types of games anymore? Because how do you argue to a Gen Alpha? How do I argue to a fetus like Silver? It's like, how do I explain why this is good? It's like, well, it's on a 2D plane and you move around. It's like, that's boring. But there's more to that. There's story and intrigue and gameplay and whatnot. But there's a lot of expectation that you have to have more. It's funny. Most stuff on social media nowadays seems to be really cynical. I went down a rabbit hole this last week of trying to find out like why video games are the way that they are. And we've had this discussion before. It's like, oh, ballooning and whatnot, but like, why the popularity? And it feels like most AAA games seem to be dismissed or hyper criticized. And a lot of games that are really popular are games that are built for streaming or games that are built for shenanigans with friends. Like games almost run popular because they're janky or difficult or difficult on purpose. Souls games are still hyper popular. But if you go to a classic AAA game, nobody cares. You know what's getting a resurgence right now? Minecraft.
Really? Interesting.
Yes. Not just Minecraft, but survival mode Minecraft, specifically.
Yeah.
Not just building stuff, but it's the surviving difficulty aspect of Minecraft.
I mean, I've seen, my kids have watched some of the games on Minecraft, or some of the videos from YouTube where people are doing weird stuff in Minecraft, like they're playing capture the flag kind of games in Minecraft and things like that. And I thought, well, okay, but that's kind of dumb. Why don't you do something else?
Well, here's the thing. Co-op games are super popular at the moment. And I think a lot of it is what they want is they want a bit of chaos and difficulty. And they also want to play with each other. They want to play with their friends and have stupid fun times. Not a lot of people are really that interested in a solo sit-at-home experience. They want and especially with the hyper focus on things like streaming. I think streaming and trending stuff has in some way or another ruined a lot of gaming because people make choices whether or not it's popular or whether or not this will do well on their streaming channel or whether or not this is something that you could play with. You know what I mean? There's a lot less. I don't want to say there's an insecurity, but people lack the desire to be alone with themselves.
There is a lot of that. I've noticed that for people of my generation, just being quiet and like reading a book or doing something by yourself is completely normal. But the young people that are Silver's generation, it's like they can't stand to be with themselves.
Can you stand to be with yourself,
they have
Silver?
To be, yeah.
Oh, heck no.
I mean, there are some weird ones out there. I mean, we do have this kaiju monster that obviously is weird just by itself. But haven't you noticed that the other people in kind of your age group, they can't do things by themselves anymore?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. There's a weird amount of people at even the college that like their parents are there.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
It's really weird, isn't it?
Your mom has gone to school with you?
Like, I don't know what they're doing. They're definitely like not going to classes with them, but it's for like, I don't know, stupid things like, I don't know, beginning of the year registration, whatever, picking up books. It's like, bring mommy.
I only ever did any of that alone. Look, I don't want this to be a generational thing. What I am trying to do is understand why trends are the way that they are. It's funny, there's that classic attitude of like, well, they don't make games like they used to. You know, my Chrono Trigger here, you know, that's when games were really good. But games nowadays, it's like, no, there are reasons why modern games are fun. I'm not trying to dump on or be that fuddy-duddy like their music isn't music or whatever, and then I'm screaming and bashing on the ceiling because they're playing the music too loud or something. If there's something good, I'll enjoy it, and if it's not good, I won't enjoy it.
But it does explain kind of some of that nature of the games that are more popular. You know, things like Fortnite and PUBG and things like that, that it's like, I don't really want to play those games. But people of the current generation of gamers, those are the ones that you see on YouTube channels. Those are the ones that you see that have the most popularity.
Well, maybe so. What is just everybody trying to chase YouTube fame at this point?
I'm sure there's some of that, sure.
Like, I never really found myself wanting to watch other people have fun. I wanted to have the fun myself.
Yeah. I don't, if I need to figure something out, I may go to a walkthrough. I may see, go check out a video on YouTube. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to sit there and watch somebody play a game. I want to actually play the game myself.
Well, there's a large degree of loneliness too. Like, loneliness is going up.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, how much of a metric that is, but there's a lot more loneliness. There's a lot more depression. People, we are more connected than ever with social media, but we don't connect with each other actually.
Well, right. And I was just going to ask, how much of that is the fact that people, instead of trying to meet physically, instead try to feed that desire virtually, and it's just not the same. And they would probably be much happier if they actually went out and physically met people. But I wonder how much of the, how much we are disadvantaging the current generation by not teaching them the social skills that they need to have face-to-face interactions.
Maybe. I mean, I don't want this to be a Gen Z, Gen Alpha bash. Silver, how you feel? Silver.
Are you there?
I'm really into the podcast. I'm a girl. I have stupid opinions.
Yeah, my thing disconnected.
Oh, Silver!
I didn't even notice.
You were just talking about how you're a girl and you have stupid opinions. Continue.
Yes, I did hear that part. So as I was saying, I hate to say it, but there's definitely a big difference between your generation and mine with just being able to be human, communicate. That's it's really bad. And I know you don't want to make it a generational thing, but my gosh, it is very blatant when you look at the difference between the two.
Are you cursed with loneliness?
Yeah, I mean, that one's kind of self-inflicted. That one's my fault.
Hey, you can come over anytime, so don't give me this nonsense.
Hey, I could, maybe, but I'm also dying.
I always like that. I used to have friends where they'd be texting me or something, be like, "Oh man, it's really boring over here." And it's like, I got nothing to do. It's like, "Well, come over," and they're like, "No." It's like, "Well, then don't complain to me." You can come over anytime. You just wander into my house. That used to be a thing. People would just come over.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm one to talk because I don't I'm not an outgoing person.
No.
And so I don't like to go out and talk to people. But I know how to. And I wonder if some of the difference there is I don't feel the need for that type of interaction with just people in general. Close friends, sure, whatever. I wonder how much of it is there for older generations and not for younger generations. But I digress.
Here's the thing. As much as you might say that, there are very few people who could go to zero. So you don't need a lot of interactions. But I guarantee you, if you had zero interactions, you would probably fall apart like most people.
Probably.
You just need a very limited amount of socializing. Which brings me back to talking about how we're not having fun anymore. It's funny. I was looking down the row of like modern games, and I'm like, I want to play Chrono Trigger. and I know nostalgia is a powerful aspect of human psychology where oftentimes it's better or more enjoyable because of the nostalgia aspect, whether or not it actually is. I fully admit that something like Star Wars is probably hard for me to be honest and objective about because I've seen it too much. It's too ingrained in my childhood. I don't know if I can be fair to the original Star Wars movies, but it felt like I was searching for an experience that I just wasn't getting previously. Like I wanted to sit down and be like, yeah, let's travel through time and fight some monsters. And here's an example that it doesn't have the nostalgia excuse. I was on the internet searching through shows that had gone through a bunch of drama and failure that were very good at the time. And I watched a show on News Radio, a show I'd never seen before. I might have seen an episode in syndication or whatever. And I was like, oh, that show seems interesting. I always heard about the drama behind it. I just went and tracked it down and started watching News Radio, and it's really good. It reminds me a bit of the more new show on Peacock called The Paper,
Okay.
where it's got a similar office feel, a bit of romance. Like News Radio is really good. It's genuinely a fun show.
Yes.
Zero nostalgia for this thing. I'm just watching it fresh, but it's an older show from like the 90s. And I'm having
News
fun.
Radio.
It's really good. It's funny, the intro has the Twin Towers in it.
Oh.
Because they were still there at the time. And it's good. Like it's a good, quirky. Apparently the writer originally put it together because he did some work on another show, and he sort of shadowed a News Radio business. And he said it was basically horrific chaos, and yet behind the scenes was horrific chaos, but when it came to airing, it was like everything had this air of like everything's under control and organized, but it wasn't. Behind the scenes, it was a mess. And that there would just be this eccentric billionaire that would wander around and pop in and out for no good reason. And he's like, that's a show. I'm going to make that show. And that's what News Radio was. And obviously I'm partway into season 2, and season 3 begins with the, oh, by the way, we had the horrific murder that occurred. Which they don't talk about on the show, but famously we lost Phil Hartman. But it's really good. And I don't see, that's the thing though. I'm not opposed to any modern shows or modern sitcoms, but I don't see any of that. Anything that really attracts me or makes me interested when it comes to modern, like, I mean, it's not really a sitcom, but I liked Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a thing. I wanted to like that Blockbuster show, but it was just bad. Where they worked at like the last Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. Brooklyn Nine-Nine was good, and then it was bad.
And then it was terrible. Yeah.
It just got really bad. And I don't want to hate anything modern, but it's like, do I have to go back to things that are older to find anything enjoyable? Like, I never watched Frasier. It was just too fuddy-duddy and old for me, and I was too young for it.
Right.
And part of me is like, maybe I'll watch Frasier. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe I'll watch Frasier.
Yeah, it's there were a few shows that I watched with my parents. One show I really liked back in the day was Remington Steele. It was one of the first shows that Pierce Brosnan was in. But for the most part, my parents watched shows and I watched different shows. And now I'm starting to like watch the shows that they watched and going like, actually, was kind of good. Now I see why they watched it.
Well, I suppose there could be an aspect of I'm growing older and I have different tastes, but I don't entirely buy that.
I'm sure
like,
there's some of that.
a lot of the shows that have attractiveness, like a serialized episodic, like, or Korean.
Right. Well, it seems to me that the Korean stuff hasn't hasn't lost the idea that they're there to sell us a product, that they're there to entertain us. And so they still have that idea in mind that they want to put on a good show rather than they want to indoctrinate us, or that they need to somehow change the culture, or whatever the buzzwords that Hollywood is going through these days. So yeah, it seems that they're still on that. We're entertainment. We need to sell this product.
It's funny. I was sitting there thinking, it's like, do we do pilots anymore? Or pilots a thing? I want to say,
I wonder.
because they used to have like 40 or 50 pilots in a year.
Yeah.
And I want to say we had like single digits recently in this last year or two. Like just
I thought
dramatic
pilots.
lowering of shows.
Right, but I thought pilots were more for the executives to see if they wanted to buy the show.
Well, it's not just that. Like pilots air and then they feel out like interest.
Oh, they do.
Like pilots air, and because I've seen a few pilots back in the day where it's like, oh, this is kind of a odd gimmick. One episode never goes anywhere. Nobody watched it. Bad reception.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, so we're not willing to test anything, or it's because shows have become too expensive, or
Maybe.
expectations and everything. And then it's like, if we do a show, is it going to have some weird messaging in it? Is it going to talk down to me? Is it going to be hyper political and commentary? Does it have to be immediately current? Can it just be a show about shenanigans?
You'd think so. You would think that it was actually more appropriate now to be broadcasting pilots than ever before. Because if you're not sure if the show is going to be a hit, if you're like, well, maybe we should feel this out. I'm wondering if we would get things like Amazon's Rings of Power and the Harry Potter with the Black Snape and things like that. If they're like,
streaming,
let's test this out first.
Streaming lacks the capacity to do tests, because when they order a show, they order a season.
Well, right, but the thing is they could actually do a made-for-television movie on the streaming service as a test.
Everything's got to be premium content. They have to put too much into every project, and
well, I think that's a failing.
Well,
really on their
see,
part.
previously you would watch a show and maybe a character isn't working or something, and then they could
Right.
tell week to week whether or not this thing's being received, and then they would change stuff. It's like, oh, nobody likes that character, let's move on, sort of thing.
Well,
now it's
I have
just
an
they have to
example for
spend $200 million on one season, and then it's bad, and then the show never comes back again.
Right. The original. So when you said that about retooling the character, I remembered the pilot for MASH, for the TV show MASH. In the pilot, they had a different guy as Father Mulcahy, and he didn't make it out. A-Team, the same thing. In the pilot, they had a different guy for face. It was Dirk Benedict afterwards.
That happens frequently.
Yeah.
Happy Days, the show had been on for a bit, and then Cousin Eddie went upstairs and never came back. And just disappeared.
I remember back in the 90s watching a show. I can't remember the names of it off the top of my head, but there were two shows I remember watching, like I said, they were made for television movies. They were like an hour long instead of the half hour that you would get for a television show. One was about an ex-con that what happened was he got out of jail and he tried to turn his life around, and so he became this good guy, and people would come to him for help and he'd help them out with their problems. And another one, a guy he got in trouble back in China, so he had to emigrate to the United States. But some of the trouble came with him. And they did like 1 hour movies, but they eventually evolved into a weekly show. There was enough of a response from the movies that they put out. They're like, yeah, there is something here that we could go from.
Or
I just didn't realize at the time that those were pilots.
well, you could
Until
go
we started talking.
backwards with Police Squad, where it was so poorly
Yes.
received it was canceled after one season, but so good they did multiple movies. Which is confusing. We don't need to go down the nostalgia route. My major point was we're not happy with any of the modern content. And I find myself looking for older things to watch because I'm looking down the road of multiple streaming services and I'm like, I don't want to. It's like, I love Daredevil. I changed my character icon when the first season of Daredevil Born Again came out. I want to sit here and talk about every episode. And it's just, like it's not great. And I don't want to watch season 2. As a diehard Daredevil fan, I actually am not interested in watching season 2. But I want to watch good modern content. And this isn't because, well, just I'm a fuddy-duddy and I'm older and I don't like everything. I loved the original Daredevil when it came out on Netflix. Loved it. Yeah. Their new shows I adore when they come out, and they're just great stuff. But for some reason, I'm sitting here searching for something that'll scratch an itch that's maybe episodic, that maybe I could get invested in over a bit of time. And where do I end up having to look for it? Anime? Korea?
Yeah.
Like, these are the places I have to find. Like, why can't the West make anything fun? Nothing fun. We get a show that's super popular and doing really well with Project Hail Mary. That's a fun movie. And the best thing we can do is be like, wow, it's, it's like classic storytelling. There should be normal storytelling. There should be common storytelling. Why are we having to look at a movie like it's this weird exception when all of the modern content that comes out has to be some hyper-political messaging, which there are places for that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they're financially successful, as can attest to the major Oscar winner this year.
Yep.
Are you having any fun, Silver? Do you have no fun?
I have zero fun. There's no good shows.
What was the last good movie you watched? And you have to go modern, not old.
Gosh. That's
Don't be like, I watched a movie from 20 years ago. No.
I watched Black Sheep and I really
Yeah, because Black Sheep is great.
Hold on. I'm definitely not looking up movies that have come out recently. Let's see.
So they're so good that you remember immediately, especially since you're of generation.
Movies that came out.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Tron Ares hated it.
Uh-huh.
The new shoot, what's it called? Avatar hated it.
Yeah, okay. That's $1 billion movie.
I haven't heard of many.
Don't
of
even
these.
enjoy your time watching it. $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Recent romantic movies. I've seen none of these.
Rhett likes his
Didn't even-
romances.
Didn't even
Right,
watch
'cause-
the new Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, did you? How was that?
I didn't watch it.
Oh. I think I have the ability to watch it. Apparently it's not as good as the first one.
Of course not. Never is. See that? Nope.
Why
When
is it
did
so
I last
hard?
watch a movie? Oh my gosh.
Why is it so hard to watch or to have anything fun that's modern or current?
Best movies have come out in the last 5 years.
And this isn't us being fuddy-duddies like, oh, I like the stuff I used to like. This is somebody of this generation who's like, I don't like anything that came out.
Oh, there we go. Top Gun Maverick was in the last 5 years. Heck yeah.
Wow. You know, there are people who saw that in middle school who have now graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top Gun
Meanwhile,
Maverick, though.
I'm looking at Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is listed. Nope.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Dune Part 2, I don't think I ever saw it. Oppenheimer, didn't see it all the way through.
As a massive Dune fan, meh.
Yeah. Oh, nope, that isn't even in the last 5 years. That's 2015 to 2019. Jeez.
Oh.
I was like, oh, some good movies. Wait a minute.
If you were going to sit down and watch a film or a show or anything, would it be made in the last 10 years?
Probably not, honestly.
To be fair, your
Most
dad has
likely.
indoctrinated you with classic
Well, yeah.
content.
Say it would most likely be a 90s movie, but come on, that it's safe.
Oh, well, why is it safe?
Oh, you know, because people really back then, not that I could tell, at least, from just based off of what I watched, I don't know if it's different from you, but it seems like people cared about movies then. They're like, yes, let's make this great thing. We have a great idea, not, we have a message. I have an idea.
I have an idea.
Let's make Strange New World and make it very gay.
Well, there was, oh, what's the name of this? I'm going to dip into the news dump a little bit, steal something. What's this stupid thing called? Beef Fry. There's a thing that's kind of hit the news spots all over the internet of a movie called Beef Fry. And you might be like, I've never heard of this. That's because it never released. Beef Fry was supposed to be like a girl power Pixar film, and they canceled it. And there was a lot of reaction to people being like, now, to be fair, it was worked on for multiple years, and they had like 50 people working on it, but never got to the animation stage. And people were like, well, it's because they don't like girls. And it's like, well, first of all, this was canceled after Lightyear. You know what came out after Lightyear? We got Inside Out 2, which was hugely popular.
Yeah.
They released Elio, which they shouldn't have.
Underworld.
Yes. Well, because it's like, well, they don't like a girl power movie. And it's like, look, Brave was good. I don't think it's because they were adverse to girl power. I just think they were adverse to that movie being bad. IGN was calling it a movie that was basically, it was going to be like K-pop Demon Hunters, and it's like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No.
So the rough synopsis was two girls that grew apart reconnect as friends because of their love of basically a Sailor Moon-esque show, and then they find out that the Sailor Moon-esque show is real, and they join the characters from the show to save the galaxy. This has sounds nothing like K-pop Demon Hunters, by the way.
No,
No. Also, that's dumb.
Yes, that's incredibly dumb. And we've seen like concept art from it and stuff, and everybody's talking about it's like, wow, they canceled a girl power. Inside Out is a girl-centric film. It's all about girls playing hockey. And it's a good movie. Inside Out 2 is a good movie. Like, Inside Out 1, I think, is better. But Inside Out 2 is good. Brave is a good movie, and it's very girl-powery.
I mean, Zootopia, one of the main characters, is the first female police officer who happens to be a bunny.
Well, let's be fair, though. Zootopia, the only character anybody cares about is the bunny character.
Yeah.
And let's be fair, Beastars was better.
Beastars was better. Because Beastars was exactly accurate when you can't create this universe. Because everybody would kill each other.
Do this.
No,
It's
you should do
horrible.
this. That's what I love about Beastars. I haven't watched the final season because it got really stupid. But essentially, Beastars is Zootopia, but realistic. Because they found out that you can't actually have herbivores and carnivores live together because it's really bad. So Zootopia is like, oh, everybody can work together in Kumbaya. And Beastars is like, no, this is a problem, and they will murder each other. Like, they shouldn't get along. Like, we should not integrate if Zootopia is about like racism and bigotry, Beastars is like, maybe we should segregate.
Yeah, like, what can we do to segregate everyone to prevent death?
This is a problem, everybody. And it's funny, the main character even dislikes that aspect of himself and spends a lot of time trying to like eliminate it as part of his personality because he ends up caring about the bunny girl. But it's a huge problem because his animal instincts, his natural animal instincts, is to murder the herbivores.
Oh my gosh. What was it, like the mayor is some lion who had his like teeth pulled out and replaced with like weird normal flat teeth because he's like, it helped the campaign.
Well, no, he did it cynically. He wasn't actually like, he didn't actually care about herbivores, but he got their vote. No.
Yeah, it just got the vote because it's like, oh look, he took away something that could hurt us off him. Like, yeah,
he didn't pull his claws.
Stop.
But it is a universe versus like full of violence, horror, and murder, and they should keep the herbivores or even the carnivores separate in their own little thing and barely interact with each other. Because the whole point of Beastars is it's a school where they're experimenting on having integration between the herbivores and the carnivores, and it doesn't work because somebody gets murdered.
Oh yeah. People get hurt all the time. Guy gets his arm torn off.
Well, the first season is all about trying to figure out who murdered this poor person. And it's it's gotta be one of the carnivores. Like, someone did this.
Like, he was devoured. They just call it the devouring incident. It's like, oh my gosh.
I think that's partially a Japanese translation thing. Is because I've seen other shows use the term devoured. So it's gotta be like, well, this is the best term that translates from what they're using, sort of thing. But how do we get on Beastars?
Zootopia.
Well, because Zootopia. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Zootopia. I don't like it.
Beastars, though.
Beastars, though.
I was bringing it forward as an example of a female lead that people actually like and care about.
Well, and this whole beef fry thing, and people are like, well, it's because they don't like women. It's like, no,
which is stupid.
I'm linking the concept art to you, and I hate it.
No, I've seen the concept art. It looks really bad.
At least for Jason, because I want to vomit.
But and then they make shows like this, and then a huge people don't go and see it, and it becomes a failure like Lightyear or like Elio.
Right.
And Elio doesn't work if it doesn't have the political messaging or if it doesn't have the identity politics into it. And suddenly it's just the show's gutted and it doesn't function anymore.
Yep.
We've lost the capacity for normal storytelling.
The thing is that for years, this has not been a problem. The thing is that we have these people who are coming out now and saying we have to have these girl power movies because it's a problem, and then when they fail, they're like, oh, it's because you guys hate women. It's like, you do realize that for years some of the biggest movies out there were female leads. Yeah, I mean, not all of them. They're not by any means. They don't by any means eclipse the amount of men who are leading these movies, but Alien was the start of a franchise.
Say, only Ripley.
And everybody loved Ellen.
Well,
everybody loved Ellen Ripley.
Let's be honest, they got bad after a while, but
it's true. But it's never been the problem of having a female lead in the movie.
Well, see,
it's always been the problem of poorly writing the movie.
Here's what the problem is. The problem is movies like that require men.
Yes, they do.
Regardless of whether or not you think women can work as superheroes. When you look at something like Captain Marvel, more men still saw Captain Marvel than women.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because more men are interested in superheroes than women. So you can go, I'm going to get a strong female character at the center of this. but it's still only really men that are moving the numbers for these types of movies. And so when the movies do bad, it's like, well, men. And it's like, well, I thought you needed a female movie for women, and then women don't show up to it. How is it our fault? Well, because they know that men aren't going to go because they're not interested. Because men push these movies. It was men that pushed Alien. It wasn't women. Men like the movie. But when you talk down to them and treat them like villains, and you say that you use terms like toxic masculinity, like there's something essentially toxic in simply being a man, then we don't show up for your film. And that's why Marvel's been having problems, because men have just been checking out. Mm-hmm. And we don't enjoy ourselves anymore. It's hard to enjoy a movie when they treat you like a bad guy. When every movie, it's like all of the girls are going through their journeys, but all of the boys are kind of stupid or bad guys. Or look at Daredevil Born Again. The current thing is strong women. There's like 3 or 4 strong women and then Daredevil. And it's like, I don't want to watch Strong Woman the show. I want to watch Daredevil the show. Yeah, but we need to set up strong female characters so that we can leverage these into other shows that I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to watch it. You're already ruining a show that should be a slam dunk for me, that I should enjoy, but I don't enjoy because you're preaching, you're talking down to me, you're making everything political, and you're damaging Daredevil to the point where it's like he's not even the main character in his show. I mean, look at Iron Fist when it came out on Netflix.
Oh, Iron Fist.
They took his powers from him and gave them to the girl.
Uh-huh.
And I hated it. Iron Fist is a great character. I'm not interested in anybody but Danny Rand. I'm sorry that upsets you, but if you want to make a show about a female character with superpowers, then make that show. Don't make Iron Fist and then make it shitty. Make a girl show. Don't ruin the boy show. But they know that the girl show's not going to sell, so they're trying to trick you. They're trying to lead you with a bit of candy so that you can get inside so the dad can give you a bath because you don't want the bath. They're ruining everything. And I'm sitting here going, I don't enjoy anything that's going on. Like, I mean, the most of the modern video game stuff that I enjoy are like indies. They're not big AAA budget stuff. It's like, oh, I like this little beat 'em up. And what about the latest Assassin's Creed? No, I don't like it.
Nope.
Well, what about the Ghosts of Yote, where we took a game you really like but made it girl? No, I won't play that. Hey, how about Spider-Man? Oh, I like Spider-Man, but now we're going to focus on making it about Black Spider-Man. Well, then I don't want to play it because I like Spider-Man. I don't want to play Black Spider-Man. What, you're racist? No, I like the previous character for specific reasons. You can't just slap name on new thing and it's just as good. And it's like they lack the capacity to understand that Iron Fist works as a specific character and you can't just take his powers from him and give it to somebody else. And it's like, oh, well, I like it because she has cool fist. It's like, no, there's backstory and character development and all these other, which was all bad in Iron Fist. I was just clutching on because I like the comics. But and it's like they think that they could just rub off the credibility onto another character and somehow it functions in a weird way. That's just not how it works. You can't just make Indiana Jones and then just him rub off credibility on girl Indiana Jones. And then we want to see this. Girl Indiana Jones will be popular only because men will go see it, not because women don't care about those types of characters. But you know what?
Or those types of movies.
No man wants to see you demasculate Indiana Jones and then hand off the credibility to the girl that's unlikable in the movie you made. We're not going to go see that. We don't want to see you damage beloved characters. We're just going to not watch it. And that's what's so weird about Project Hail Mary. It's like, oh, it's a likable character. with another likable character that I was rooting for that didn't have to involve me into some political agenda. He's just trying to save the world, and he's on his own, stranded in space, and he's working with somebody else, solving problems. This is exactly what Star Trek is supposed to be. That whole movie is supposed to be Star Trek, just Star Trek all over the place. It doesn't have to be, it's some facsimile of modern space. It's just people in space solving problems. Some scan, or it's all tachyon fields or some nonsense. But the Star Trek, they're solving problems in space. You can't give me that. You can't give me normal. You can't give me normal storytelling. You can't give me basic storytelling. You can't have me root for the characters. Ripley works is because she's a character. Well, she works for a lot of reasons. It's a survival movie. It's a horror movie. She's trying to make it through the ship because something's hunting her. But also. Right. She wasn't a main well-known person at the time, the actress, and they cast it in such a way where you weren't supposed to know who was going to make it. She wasn't even centered as protagonist. In the beginning of the film, she ends up being the one that survives. The story didn't revolve around her. The story revolves around
there were several more well-known actors in that.
Well, it revolves around like the captain and the android and whatnot, but that's what works is this survival sort of horror scenario is you're surprised she's the one that makes it. She doesn't walk around with like a gun in her belt. It's like, I'm the toughest one here. And this is why I'm going to, no, she just through grit and luck, she makes it out to the end. And that makes that story work, but you want to root for the character. You want them to make it through the story. Inside Out works because you're sympathizing with the person and the struggles they're going through, emotions and hormones, like Silver does constantly every day.
Oh.
PMSing all over the place, Silver.
Not wrong.
I wanted to touch on the spin-off thing that you mentioned earlier, that you're like, yeah, I don't want that. The thing is that when they shoehorn the character in and they then make that character the more important than the leading character, that's what I don't like. I don't mind if they're like, we're going to introduce this character in this property so that we can do a spin-off later. I don't mind that. Especially when, with Daredevil, there are a number of characters that you could introduce in Daredevil and then spin off into their own thing. Elektra being one of them. There's not as much
unsuccessfully. Yes.
Right. There's not as much. I was going to say there's not as much interest in an Elektra show. I'm sure, but the thing is that you could have a female character introduced in a male centric show, and then spin it off into its own thing. You just have to remember that one. You need to focus on storytelling, not this chick is badass and is better than any man. And you've got to focus on the fact that in the show that you're introducing them in, they're a secondary character. They don't get to become top dog in the other character's show. That's not what it's for.
Well, right, but that's not what they do. They introduce the character as if there's already the plan 5 steps down the road of this being a standalone show before we even see them walk on screen. So as they walk on screen, they just take up everything.
Exactly. And that's the problem. It's like, we know what you're doing here. You're trying to make us like this character. You can't do that here. That's not the point of this show. This show is about the main character and his struggles and whatever else. Make a spin-off show all you want and make them the main character on that show and make them the center of attention on that show. But you have to realize you need to bring the men along. So you need to make that character sympathetic when you're introducing them. You can't make them antagonistic to the audience. You can't say, look, you're going to like this character and we're going to force it down your throat. That's not how this is going to work. It's going to be a failure if you try to do it that way.
Here's the thing. We're going to do what we've done 40 million times and just be hypercritical of how badly they're doing everything. I want to talk about, because the problem was I was sitting there going, it's like, what? Just I'm not having fun with any of the modern stuff anymore. And then I see Project Hail Mary, and it's like, you know what? That was a lot of fun. And really, the only thing you're really searching for in entertainment is fun. I know that sounds shocking to a lot of people, but it's like I want to enjoy it because movies and video games and comic books and they're entertainment. And you can learn something about the human condition, or you can learn something about yourself, or you can have a thoughtful story, you can have a fun story of heroics and adventure. But all of it comes down to, did I enjoy my time? Have I having fun? And as I'm sitting here going, I want to play something I enjoy and I want to watch a show I enjoy. And I sit down and I play Chrono Trigger, and it's like, yeah, because I like it. Because it's fun for me. And I'm enjoying it. And it's not just because, wow, I don't enjoy anything that's modern. There's a lot of games I play that are current. What I'm getting out of it is fun, and I'm missing a lot of fun out of modern media today. So why don't we actually, for the first time, which we shockingly seem to never do, tell me about stuff you like and why you like it.
So, like, new stuff coming out? Why
I
we
don't
like it, or just
care.
stuff in general?
Something you like, but you have to tell me why, not just I like Star Trek. Why is it good?
Well, so there's obviously the debate on which was better, Star Trek or Star Wars. I like them both.
Well, you don't
Maybe
have
not
to use
equally.
my example, but
No. But it's like, on the one hand, Star Trek, or Star Wars, I liked the action, I liked the Force, I liked the Jedi, I liked the lightsabers, I liked the dynamics of them being action movies in space, the dogfights, the good versus evil. I liked that. It was awesome. I liked that Han Solo was kind of a morally gray character who eventually became a more heroic person. He had
these are good. I'm going to refocus.
Well, I was going to go
Explain why somebody who never seen Star Trek, who's of a modern generation, why they should see Star Wars or whatever.
Okay, so
Why
someone
is it
who
good? Why
modern,
should you watch it?
I would say the characters are interesting. The stories are focused on growth and character development. There's action. There's adventure. There's excitement. There's fun in watching it. The space battles are interesting. The Force adds a different dynamic to the whole
Like a mysticism.
the whole thing of good versus evil. I was going to kind of get into Star Trek too a little bit.
I mean,
'cause
go ahead. I
that's a
mean, these don't
very
have to be like
different-
talk about big famous franchises. You can pick something that you like that maybe people
right.
don't watch. But the point is talking about stuff we enjoy, because everything sucks. And there is good stuff out there. They exist. So keep going, whatever you want.
I've been reading recently the Vampire Hunter D novels. There are
What, the
I think
manga
there's
versions?
no,
Like they're just
the actual novels.
books for Vampire Hunter D?
Yeah. They were originally books. There are like 50 some odd light novels in the series.
Goodness.
I think 30 some odd of them have been translated into English. It's kind of interesting. The company that prints them in the United States is Dark Horse, not like Penguin or Tor or one of the more typical book publishing companies. It's actually a comic book publisher that publishes them. But I've really enjoyed them. It's one of the interesting things about some of the Japanese culture, and I swear this is not focused on that, but we don't really have an equivalent to the light novel in the US. And so these books,
you have short novels, but they tend to be for young adults.
yeah, exactly. And these are not necessarily focused on youth. They're definitely more adult oriented.
We used to have something that was similar, pulp books.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Definitely. But I like them because of there's the kind of melding of vampire and mystical. There's magic and that horror aspect and things, but it's also set in like the year 10,000 something. And so it's also got cyborgs and high tech and all this other stuff that makes it really interesting to me. So I've been having a lot of fun reading them. And they're definitely very straightforward in that they're supposed to be pulpy and adventure-y, and they're not really there to delve into the philosophy. And so it's, you pick one up and you read it in a couple of days. And that's really what it's focused on, is having fun as you're reading. So I've been reading through those. I have like 20 some odd of them. I've been collecting them over the years. I'm trying to think which book I'm on. It's like 9 right now.
Oh, okay. Silver.
The first book was made into the first Vampire Hunter D novel, and the third book was made into Vampire Hunter, or excuse me, the first book was made into the first Vampire Hunter D anime, and then the third book was made into the Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
My favorite part of the anime is he's trying very hard not to be a vampire, and at the very end, the guy looks out, he's like, "Oh wait, I know who you are," and it's like, "Oh no." Because he's basically the son of Dracula. He's absurdly powerful, but he chooses to hold that back because he doesn't want to use his vampire.
Well, yeah, the kind of supposition is that his name is Dracula, but he goes by D instead, because he's kind of like, I'm distancing myself from my father.
Yeah. It's just that's the best moment of the movie. Is at the end, he's like, "Oh." Oh no.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, wait a minute."
And he just wrecks him. Also, the other really good moment is when he chops that, I think it's like that guy who shoots spiders out of his back, and all of the goo and stuff falls out of him. But when the part where he hits his bladder, that's actually yellow, which I thought that was an interesting detail to put into the animation.
we're gonna do this right. Apparently, the guy who writes them doesn't really care for the anime, but he's
fine.
not an anime fan in general. So,
Silver, what's something you like? Tell me about good things.
Good things. First thing that came to mind, because I'm simple, was March Comes in Like a Lion.
March Comes in Like a Lion's really good. I got you onto that.
You did, and I freaking love it. I crave when I can watch it again.
I need it.
I need it. I need to be sad, but also entertained.
Yeah, me and Silver have a disease where we like to watch sad movies.
Sometimes sad movies are really, really good for you.
And Mark's like, why is March Comes in Like a Lion really good that I told you had to watch?
Well, first of all, amazing storyline. The characters are very lovable.
Yep.
Can't recall any of them that suck besides the one girl in it, but you learn backgrounds of all of them. You kind of get an understanding.
The sort of kind of sister-in-law, kind of?
Yeah, her.
That just takes advantage of him?
Yeah.
He gets adopted because his parents are dead.
Yeah, super sad and stuff.
It's really sad.
So yeah, great story, great characters mostly besides her. What else? I don't know. It's just very engaging. Like, you keep finding out more, like, why this kid is living alone, just playing shogi. It's great.
I wonder if we're ever going to get if we're ever going to get more seasons. I think you suggested no. Bump of Chicken does the music for it, and Bump of Chicken's a very famous Japanese band.
Oh
as
yes.
well. I think they came
It's
out with an
between
album
that
recently.
Yorelai and April, or not Yorelai and April, Silent Voice.
Silent Voice
Those
is
are
also
all
really
yeah,
good.
they're all good.
Well, Silent Voice is too real because it's very earnestly relatable to the concept of bullying. Like, it feels very realistic. And what's so good
Yeah.
about it is this idea of redemption. Trying to overcome wrongs and horrible things you've done in the past. Your Lie in April is also good, but that's just really just sad. Like, it doesn't have the
Sad-
arc of
Piano Boy.
overcoming difficulties. It's just sad piano boy.
Yeah.
Oh, freaking I want to
Rerun.
eat your pancreas,
Oh, that too.
which you bought me the manga for Christmas. Really good. A little ham-fisted with a bit of the ending, but still a really good story. Frieren is
my
great.
God.
So, by the way, Frieren is season 1 is on Netflix. Tell us about Frieren and why it works.
Frieren, first of all, it's what you want from like a fantasy anime because we keep getting freaking isekai constantly and stupid.
Terrible.
Hate the inventory and leveling up. It's just a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's great. You
It's
follow around this girl who's an elf, has amazing magic. Went on an adventure with a bunch of people for, what was it, a demon king or something, right?
To kill the
Um,
Demon
yeah.
King, yeah.
To kill the demon king, and she's immortal, lives forever. Meanwhile, the rest of them, no. Rest of her friends. So she comes to realize, oh no, my friends are dying. And so she reconnects with them by retracing their steps along the way of this journey. And it's just so heartfelt and
You almost live through the idea of like what would be like to live that long, but also she softens because she had this aloofness before.
yeah.
And she doesn't
It's like-
realize that she misses people and actually cared about people in these relationships until after they had passed.
Yeah, and so
I would say
she brings along like these, I forget their names already. I remember Stark. I don't remember the girl's name.
Stark and oh,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I
her
don't remember her name either.
purple hair. Oh, that's gonna annoy me.
It doesn't matter. Keep going.
Frieren. I know. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, going on this adventure, trying to reconnect with her friends and the things she missed out on.
Turn.
Not realizing that, yeah, one day they're gonna be gone, but then start dying, and then so it's like her own character arc of her realizing that she goes from aloof to becoming more caring as more of these people join her along the way.
Well,
It's like, wow, she's like hundreds of years old and she still is evolving as a person.
Season 2 just ended, by the way. It's a thoughtful journey. And one thing I loved about the show is it spent a lot of time sort of reflecting on who she is and what she cared about, sort of thing. After you had seen I kept telling you to watch it. I kept telling everybody to watch it. Silver finally did. Jason, I think, watched it like a year plus after. But Silver finally did. And when you watched it, you texted me. It was like, oh, just watch Fear, and it's amazing. And
Like
so
a
you
fan.
got online immediately, and we talked about it for like 4 hours.
I know.
Because the show was good. It's a solid fantasy.
I had heard about Frieren, and so when the opportunity came to purchase it on Microsoft, it was like $5 for the entire first season. I bought it. I just had such a backlog of other shows that I was trying to get through that I didn't get to it right away. But yes, I eventually did get to it. I would say it's almost one of the ones that is like you didn't know you needed to see it until you see it.
It
Because
fulfills
it's
a
not.
need, like a solid fantasy need that
Yeah.
you don't get.
Well, it's not even that like it's a solid necessarily a solid fantasy thing. It's got a different enough aspect that this is seeing it from the eyes of a race of a person who they're not going to die anytime soon. She's over 1,000 years old at the beginning of this thing, and she's had all these adventures, and it's her going through, and it's some of it is cozy. It's that relaxed, let's go through and see how Frieren has changed the world from when she was going through with the heroes party to defeat the Demon King, and all these people that remember her and remember the hero and all this other stuff that goes along with it. Yeah, there are elements of adventure and
Oh, the freaking fight
And-
scenes are so beautifully
oh,
animated.
yes, they are.
They're so good.
amazing. Yes, but at the same time, it's this whole thing where you also have that cozy aspect, where she just goes to check out a village that she once went through years ago with the heroes party to see how it's doing.
Well, and it's
You
so
know?
funny because of how sentimental the show can get because
Oh
because elves live forever. They tend to need some sort of hook that motivates them, and the thing she
Uh-huh.
gets is weird spells. Like that's what she
Yeah.
she attaches herself to. So she'll learn like the spell of making flowers bloom or something. And they're
Yeah,
just
it's
Yeah,
her
weird.
The
favorite spell.
stain removal from the clothes spell.
Yes, clothing stain removal spell. Just goofy things, and they're really just lovely and fine. And then you run into a situation where it's like, oh no, she's like scary powerful. Like horrifyingly, devastatingly scary powerful. Like she defeats this demon lady and her army just because they had no real, because she had this power where they level between them and the other person takes damage, but it's like, oh, by the way, she is so infinitesimally more powerful than you are that it just destroys the other person.
That was one of the greatest scenes in that season.
She
It was
she
just
is
this-
Oh, that was
ridiculous, ridiculously
Yeah.
powerful. Frieren is, and it comes from this tiny little lady, which is who's got her own awkward charm. She struggles to sleep. She falls asleep upside down,
Yeah,
constantly.
she can't wake up.
She can't wake up at all. But it's a great show, and there's a lot to it. And season 2's been really good. It's funny. I watched with my mom, and she goes, because we'll watch it, we'll get really into it. We'll get to the ending of the episode. She'll be like, "Oh, that's it." And it's like you kind of fall into it, and then you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
You want to keep going. Good stuff. For it, they
Yeah.
good things are still being made, and they exist, and they don't have to be modern. I mean, you can go back, you can watch News Radio. News Radio, if you want to watch Babyface Joe Rogan, it's a good show.
It was so funny to me when I realized that Joe Rogan was in News Radio.
Yeah,
It took me a while. I'm seeing Joe Rogan and I'm like looking at him on his podcast thinking, I've seen this dude before.
Well,
Where was it?
his
And then I watched an old
role was
episode of News Radio. I'm like, that's it.
his role was originally cast as Ray Romano, and
Really?
he did not work out, and they end up getting Joe at the last minute. Ray Romano, not too long after that, did the Everybody Loves Raymond show. So
Everybody
if he'd
Loves
got
Raymond,
News
yeah.
Radio, it wouldn't have worked out because Everybody Loves Raymond was huge,
Oh yeah, yeah. It was big.
long running, very popular. Went on
Everybody
forever.
loved Raven.
Everybody loves it. So good. There's good content out there. I want to think of let's see, shows that stand out. From season 1 is really good. It gets a little bit bogged down in the mystery box nonsense, but From season 1 is really good. I think you have to watch it on. It used to be MGM. It used to be Epix. Now it's MGM Plus or whatever it is. Just an odd, creepy. It feels like a Twilight Zone episode that goes on for too long. See, I like Severance. I know there's mixed reactions to Severance. They're like, well, it doesn't answer anything. Well, it does if you kind of pay attention, or you enjoy mystery and what's going on. But Severance is good. Ted Lasso, despite the fact there's a lot of parts of that show I don't like, is good for the most part.
Mainly that one guy.
Yeah. Well, Ted Lasso's going to come back, but this time he's coaching a girl team. And
I
I'm
was
like,
gonna say it's all when we don't get Roy
"Ugh."
Kent. That's his name. That's the character I love. Roy Kent.
Roy Kent's the best part of Ted Lasso. You're right. There's good. If you're into war movies, Greyhound is a really good movie. That was supposed to come out in theaters, and then COVID hit. It's about Tom Hanks is a captain of a destroyer trying to hunt down submarines. It's really good, and you can't get it. Well, normally you can't get it anywhere but Apple because Apple bought the rights to it, and they refused to allow physical copies to be made or whatever. But they did allow it to be licensed to be purchased on Amazon, and I super did that when it was on sale. I want a physical copy, but there's good content. I'm just so sick of most of the big modern stuff out there. Just look around, look for recommendations, and I would hope. I would like the idea that complaining all of the time is not a thing, that we should talk about stuff we love, but everything sucks. It's just bad. And I think really what I'm criticizing is Western media is what I'm mostly criticizing. Because, I live here. If you live in Korea and it's like, no, all the shows are great. And it's like, yeah, ours are terrible. Remember when talk shows used to be good? Ugh.
No.
Well, it kind of depends on what you mean by remember when talk shows were good, because I remember when Jerry Springer was on the air, and that's never been good.
No, it is a beautiful trash fire, Jerry Springer.
Okay, if you want to classify it as a trash fire that happens to be beautiful, yeah, we'll go with that
Well,
one.
they still do Jerry Springer stuff like, the bodyguard that was bald that everybody would want to rub his head and stuff. He has a show that's basically Jerry Springer, but it's him. Because Jerry's dead now, as I recall.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Jerry famously in Austin Powers 2, where Dr. Evil shows up in the Jerry Springer show, and he thinks that the Yahtzee and the Triple K member are not evil enough, and he starts attacking them. Good times. I mean, it's not like we don't have trash television now. It's all over the place. I mean, MTV used to play music, and then it turned into the 24/7 underage, teenage, pregnant talk show about reality or whatever. Like, that was all they would show because that was the most popular.
I like Bowling for Soup, and I like the line from their song 1985 where they say when they still played music on MTV.
Goodness. I've started talking about nostalgia. I've started to listen to the radio. That's right. I have an old radio that my mother had, and I set it up in my room, and it's just set to classic rock. And then if I sit in there screwing around playing like Mario or something, I turn on the classic rock station. It's like 1985 again or whatever.
No, heck yeah.
Even though I was like 2. It's hard to have nostalgia when you're a child. My nostalgia is the grungy 90s, everybody. Freaking A, I wanted to talk, not just complain, I want to talk about stuff that's good. There's good stuff. Project Hail Mary is I would recommend it. It's a heartfelt story. And if you don't like it, try The Martian. It's also a heartfelt story written by the same guy.
The same guy. Yeah.
If you like The Martian, go watch Project Hail Mary. And you know what? There's other stuff out there. I'm going to go see Mario on Monday. Why? Because I am. I'm going to see it on Monday. I brought it up, and Mom was like, let's go see that, because I love my mother, and we do stuff. Suck it, universe.
Ah,
You know, it was funny when I was in high school, because my siblings were edgelords, and my sister was such a shit that she didn't want to be seen in public with my mother because it was seen as embarrassing. And my mom would go get groceries or something at like Walmart or Sam's Club or something, and I would go with her, and we'd walk around, and I'd help her put stuff in the cart, and we'd take it out, and then she'd be like, I like that you don't mind being seen with me. I was like, why would I care? That's weird.
you're my mother.
How insecure are people that they don't want to be seen with their mother? Like, that's a shitty kid. Like, that's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
And so I would hang out with, like, I didn't care. We go see a movie or whatever.
Yeah, I've never been one of those people either.
It's like, why would it bother you? That's really weird. I mean, I'm not a mama's boy or anything. It's just like, nah, she's my mom. Like, whatever. Like, it's fine. I would hang out and watch stuff with her. Whatever. Or do stuff.
No, I'm guessing that, you know, some people actually do fall into that stereotype that has been perpetuated by the media, that you know, you have to be embarrassed by your parents or whatever.
And as soon as the umbilical cord is detached, you got to toss them out a window.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm moving on. Let it go.
You're like, shut up, Mom.
Shut up, Mom. You're not my mom. Oh, you are my mom.
Let me just hand the baby the birth certificate and sees like the parents' name. She's like, ah, dang it.
Well, you hang out with your dad, Silver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I can, but I'm dying.
You watch stupid movies.
Great movies.
Yeah. Good times. Hang out with your family. Damn it.
One day I'll be able to once again.
I've found that people who
What about-
are friend obsessed are also really easily
that's true.
influenced by friend opinions. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They get all
So we talked
insecure
about
or trying to be cool.
Stuff that we liked. What about you?
Not that I didn't piggyback on some of your stuff.
Right.
It sort of depends on what you're going for. I consume a lot of media. Like a lot of. I play more games and watch more movies and TV shows than both of you.
Probably. Oh yeah, definitely.
Most definitely. Jason reads more books because
Yeah.
he just does. I mean, I would like to read more. It's just access to more books and whatnot. Goodness. What is something? Oh, I mentioned From and Severance. What is something
Mhm.
I would find that stands out that be a good thing to recommend? You know, as much as comics have become really bad lately, there are really good comic runs. I would recommend A Long Halloween to everybody, even if you're not into
Oh yeah,
comics,
that's a good one.
because it's just a good murder mystery. It's just really, and then you go Dark Victory after that. Silver, who doesn't read comics, but I had her read Batman, is Long Halloween really good?
It's very good. In
It's
fact, I
really
was
good.
just thinking about it last night. I'm just like, dang.
It's
Poor
really good.
Batman.
I know Batman can be really good, and it's really
Yeah.
good Batman.
It's really funny to satisfy the Batman craving because I don't have time. I'll just like look up shorts because I haven't. The Batman cartoon that I grew up with was Brave and the Bold.
Sorry about that.
Well, there's some scenes that I just think of every once in a while that's like, I'm gonna go look that up. Like, him fighting this lady, and she's like, you wouldn't hit a woman, would you? And he's like, the fist of justice is unisex, and punches her.
I have the entirety of Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond,
Oh my
if you ever
gosh.
want to watch it.
Please.
Batman, the animated series is probably the best Batman cartoon.
I've seen
out there,
bits of that,
hands
but
down.
It's
never
really
got to
good.
see
And
a lot
Batman
of it.
Beyond is second to that.
One of the best Batman movies is going to be the Mr. Freeze one. I can't remember what the title of it was. It's really good. The sad story of Mr. Freeze and
Oh yeah.
yeah, Batman's great. There's good content, everybody. It just you gotta look for it. It's funny. A lot of the good stuff I've seen recently or done recently has been older stuff. Ross likes to watch with me because we're both really into history, like these old propaganda movies. And we've seen some really interesting old propaganda movies. But you really got to be into history to be like, what is this? There was a American propaganda movie that came out that was directed by the same guy that did Casablanca. And it was basically explaining the Soviet Union and why they're our friends, and then justifying stuff and explaining away the atrocities the Soviet Union did because we're supposed to be okay with them being our allies. It's so fascinating. It's such an interesting. Here's a movie. Go see Death of Stalin.
Yeah,
It's really good.
that one was shockingly good.
That's awesome. If you ever learn about history, especially horrific regimes like the communist Soviets in the Soviet Union, that it's so terrible that it would almost seem like an awful, like, dark comedy about the bumbling and screw ups and backstabbing and whatnot. And so that's what Death of Stalin is, basically this stupid backstabbing and bumbling idiots and horrible people that were the members of the Soviet Union.
I think that this generation really needs to find out more about the Soviet Union.
Oh, there are great videos out there. Look into the Soviet Union's attempt to create oranges that'll grow in Russia.
Oh,
It's really goofy. It's almost so there was this guy. We're getting into history here. This is not a nerd podcast. There was this guy that had this theory that he didn't believe in Darwinism and evolution and how things adapt and grow and stuff. He had this different political theory based upon communism. And his theory was that, well, there's no such thing as plants that can only grow in certain environments. You can grow anything in any environment. So they attempted to grow oranges in Russia. And believe it or not, through engineering stuff, they kind of did. It was a massive feat for the Soviet Union, because essentially what they did was they would plant huge amounts of groves of oranges, and 90% of them would die. But that 10% they would take and then would replant huge amount of groves, and then 10% would survive, and they would plant them again, 10% would survive. And after a while, they finally developed a type of orange that could grow in harsh Soviet winters and climates. That all of the plants wouldn't kill off by the next year. The problem is they're terrible. like the rinds grow really thick, and they taste terrible. They're just awful taste. They're not sweet or anything. And a specific type of orange that's grown in the Soviet Union. They're just awful. Here's a really good movie on Apple TV, Tetris, the movie about Tetris, and how skeeving and manipulating people are to see who controls the rights of Tetris.
Wow.
Which is a fairly accurate story from what I understand, which ends up with a KGB chasing people across Moscow. Tried to get out with signed documents over whether or not they had the right to distribute touch. Because the problem with the Soviet Union is whatever you make is owned by the state. So this guy who made Tetris just programmed it on the side, working in an office. It got out of the Soviet Union somehow, became hugely popular, but people didn't actually have the rights to really distribute Tetris. So it became this who owned what and who owned from what. And this big fight of realizing, nobody owns the console rights to Tetris. And picking a fight over the legality of that sort of thing and trying to slip in. And it's a really fun movie. It's really good. I would recommend Tetris. It's on Apple TV. Just a lot of goofy. The Soviet Union, man, just fumbling. How bad the T-34 was. If you're a tanky, you're stupid because the T-34 is a bad tank. I'm just telling you right now, it's really good for what they were trying to do, but it's not like it had a lot of problems, but they weren't willing to fix it. Here's an example. The T-34, what they needed was a tank they could build over and over and over again and distribute to help win the war. It is not better than most of the German stuff. It ended up being outclassed down the road, but it was something they could build quickly over and over and over again. But they would over-harden the steel and it would crack too easily, and then the bolts that held the wheels on were kind of poorly put in. So instead of fixing it where they were holding the wheels on better, what they did is these pins, they added a piece of metal on the inside. So every time it passed by that piece of metal, it would push the pin back in. So it would just ding that piece of metal as the tankers were. There's fun stuff in history of the nonsense and stupidity. Soviets are great. If you want to read about it, just fumbling idiots making bad decisions, the Soviet Union's awesome. And also just really clever people pulling stuff off with very little amounts of resources. Soviets.
Sure, yeah, they had to get really creative because
there's a YouTube video where somebody did a really extensive video about the Soviet computer program, like the computers that they built, because they had their own computer development. And it's just sort of their efforts to make computers on their own and sort of the poor like trial and error. And they had really interesting, odd ways of going about stuff because they had to do it on their own. They weren't doing it through, the Western world, where no matter what they did, the Western computers were always going to be more advanced, sort of thing.
We were
fun stuff.
Definitely not helping at that point in time.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just looking down the road and I was like, well, Daredevil came out, but we're not talking about that. Nobody's talking about The Boys because The Boys wasn't good after season 1. Season 2 is bad. I'm not talking about Invincible. Invincible wasn't good after season 1, really. There's just nothing. Star Trek's not good.
Yeah.
You know what's good? Project Hail Mary. Go see that. But I want a bit more relaxed. It's like, let's talk about good stuff and why we don't like everything. Anyway, we do have special news to go through, and it is a news dump.
News Dump Online. This is the Distracted Gamers. Connecting now.
You know what I neglected to go through? Making sure that everything can be pulled up. Oh, it can.
Nice.
Border. News. It's poorly formatted, but whatever. Yes, this is the female-led Pixar movie. No, not this one. Yeah, IGN seems to think it would be a K-pop Demon Hunter. It will not. Has nothing to do with K-pop Demon. Nothing even familiar. The Flintstones movie is getting a 4K Stonebook edition. Really?
Okay.
What?
The one
Basically.
with what, Goodman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Much to nobody's shock, guess what movie's doing really well? It's no, not that. Mario box office. That is not the. Anyway, Mario is doing extremely well.
Extremely well, yes.
Like breaking records. It's over 300 million at the moment.
Jeez.
I want to say it's
I'm trying to-
350-ish.
I'm trying to remember. There was a record that they talked about that it took like 60 years or something to break, and the Mario Galaxy movie is the one that did it. I don't remember what record it was though.
Pretty straightforward family fun. Guess what? Super like video games are dominating right now, dominating entertainment, and even movies are making movies about video games. It's just this is what we're getting through. Here's a bit of stuff that only I care about because I really like classic gaming. Classically, there's been a problem with the PlayStation 3 that's really hard to emulate for, and it's because the cell processor is really complicated. And it was believed for the longest time that we were never going to see Metal Gear 4 on anything sort of ported over, because getting it to run very well on anything else was really difficult because it's built integrated with the cell processor that the PS3 made. One of the most brilliant processors ever made that just it was too hard to program for. However, apparently emulators have made a huge breakthrough when it comes to improving performance with the cell processor.
Interesting.
I'm going to read roughly. See, the improvement benefits every game in the emulators library, with Twisted Metal, one of the most SPU intensive titles, showing 5% to 7% average FPS improvement. Essentially, the breakthrough is they discovered previously unrecognized SPU usage patterns and wrote code paths to generate more efficient native PC output from them. Now, here's where it gets interesting. They were able to make a breakthrough that improved dramatically emulation for the PS3. What this means is tighter host-side machine code for the same SPU workloads, reducing CPU overhead across the board. RPC S3 shared side-by-side Twisted Metal video comparison showing frame rate gain, and noted that the cutscene used for demonstrations feature dynamic lighting, NPC positioning, environmental effects, yada, yada, yada. Technical stuff that most of you don't care about. Here's where it gets interesting. RPC S3 is said to optimize could benefit all CPUs, from low-end to high-end, and cited user reports of improved audio rendering, slightly better performance in GTA 5 on a dual-core AMD Athlon 3000G, a budget APU that you'd expect to struggle with PS3 emulation. Yeah. They figured out something that could unlock improvement in all CPUs.
That is really cool.
It is really cool.
Really cool.
I love this stuff. Yeah, in a Pixar scrapped movie, B-Fry, that everybody's devastated that it's not coming out because it's going to be a Girl Boss movie, and nobody wants a Girl Boss movie, except for the fact that we had Girl Boss movies released after B-Fry was canceled, because it was canceled around Lightyear, and after Lightyear we had more Pixar films like Inside Out 2 and stuff. Hollywood is trying to make Metal Gear Solid movie again. They'll fail because Metal Gear Solid's weird and it's hard to adapt. And also, I'm not convinced that the Final Destination Bloodlines people is going to be the right decision to make a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if they adapt one of the earlier ones, maybe, but I don't have any confidence.
It's not just the
Hollywood.
It's not just the spy stuff. It's Hideo Kojima's weird.
Yeah,
and it's getting the tone right is the problem with the Metal Gear movie. That's right. SNL did run a Black Snape segment criticizing essentially how it's going to turn out.
That's
Snape accused the new kid at Hogwarts, Harry Potter, or the proud boy who lived, of telling everybody that the only black teacher was evil, which he does. He says he distrusts Snape and thinks he's the one that stole the Sorcerer's Stone and thinks he's a bad guy. And it's like, yeah, it contextually changes everything because suddenly he's just racist.
Yep.
This is a bad decision.
Very bad.
You could have changed other characters that wouldn't have had such an effect on the story.
It's really funny if you think about it. It's like there were other characters that would wouldn't have caused such issues, but if you change Snape or you change Harry Potter to black, it just really screws up everything.
Yep. Marathon reportedly had a budget of over $200 million.
Wow.
Apparently, though they have a lot of pressure to gain more players, it is not currently facing the imminent Concord-style shutdown. So we'll have to see whether Marathon survives. 200 million is a lot for a game.
Yes, it is.
It looks like GTA 6, Rockstar specifically, had a hack. And the team behind the hack threatened a massive data leak if they were not paid a ransom. Now, I tried to look into it, and with updates, it looks like it wasn't specific. It wasn't things vital to GTA 6. It was more likely, from what Rockstar is claiming, more like a sort of studio internal information, not like builds or anything.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's not like when Half-Life 2 got leaked and they basically just destroyed the source engine and rebuilt it. Which the only thing what happened when famously when the source engine was leaked is it basically pushed back everything. So good job, everybody. We didn't get Half-Life 2 for another year or so. Hey, new CEO at Disney, and he's also slashing up to 1,000 jobs as the company reckons with years of costly missteps. Yeah. I mean, no one's surprised freaking Bob Iger was bad and had multiple film failures.
Yep.
Park attendance had been dropping. You know, we need more extraction shooters. You know what is missing? A Disney-themed extraction shooter?
Yes, that's what we need. Oh my gosh. That's what my soul has been crying out for. An extraction shooter where Mickey is the main character, and he's shooting people.
Well, the problem is Ross
No
isn't
more
here,
left.
and he's the only one that cares about any of this stuff like extraction shooters. His
If I had
aunt should
if
have
I
been more
had-
considerate.
if I had a Disney extraction shooter as an option, I would totally be into extraction shooters. I just know it.
I mean,
Oh,
Looney Tunes would probably work better as an extraction shooter than
probably, yeah.
supposed to Disney. What are you gonna do? Run around and hunt down a Goofy,
Huh?
Pluto?
Oh no.
No, please don't shoot the dog.
This mission put the dog down.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever thought about the fact that Goofy is the only Disney character to canonically have romantic relations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he has a son.
Yep.
Think about it, everybody. Go to bed with that in your head.
Either that or Goofy replicates by mitosis.
Well, until I see evidence of Goofy replicating by mitosis.
He just splits.
As a cell.
In one of the movies, they talk about Max's mom. So at one point, Goofy was married.
Well, I mean, Mickey and Minnie have been together. There's no evidence they've gotten together in any... have known each other
They're
biblically.
not married, as I recall.
What? So you think they're strict Christians and are going to wait until they get married? Is this canonical that Mickey Mouse worships Jesus?
Or Mickey
I
Mouse
think
has
at the
children out
time
of
he was
wedlock.
created.
Do you think he's got
That was
kids
kind
all
of
over the
deep.
place at all of the parks?
Yeah.
What do you think's in
Uh-huh.
the basement?
No, I thought in the basement was Walt Disney's frozen head.
Well,
Well, that's next
His
to
head was
Mickey's
there.
frozen children.
the head was there, but the children ate it.
You know, abortion is legal for a lot of states, especially California. Bunch of
Many.
horror monsters. At that point, it's like, we need to put these kids down.
They're actually fed to Pluto.
This has gone dark places. Sony Pictures Entertainment lay off hundreds as it refocuses on strategic priorities. Things are going well for
We done messed up,
Sony.
folks.
With Sony Pictures. Shifting on,
Yeah,
Nintendo will charge different prices for digital and physical games, starting with Yoshi. I'm going to be honest, this is probably good, and I'll tell you why. It costs more to produce a physical game. They should be charging us less for the digital versions.
I have no problem with that either.
Not full price for the digital
Yeah.
versions. Oh, and everybody's favorite director who has brilliant things to say, Paul Feig apparently said that the next Bond should be Sydney Sweeney.
Excuse me?
The American Sydney Sweeney. He says
Oh.
there have been some cool Bond girls, but come on, let her be the super spy. She's great.
Well,
This
shut
is
up.
like the fundamental misunderstanding of why Bond is who he is, like why he works as a character. He's quintessentially British. It sort of plays on the whole Cold War stuff. It was written by a guy who was involved in the OSS originally. It's meant to be a man and not a woman. It's meant to be a Brit and not an American. Like, how many spy movies do we need to have? Like Mission Impossible was essentially American James
Yeah.
Bond. If you want to do a spy movie with Sydney Sweeney, then make one.
Good.
You don't have
Yeah.
to steal the Bond moniker. It's like, do you understand Bond? Like, do you understand this character in any way? What he's supposed to be? What he's
and
supposed to represent?
And this is why the last Bond movie failed so hard. The answer to your question is no.
Bond, much like most classic male figures, Luke Skywalker, James Bond, Han Solo, Indiana Jones,
American Picard.
they all die by getting really sad and giving up. I mean, are you going to tell me any one of those characters didn't die because they got sad and gave up? Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
thought
what
so.
Yeah,
happened.
that's exactly it.
Yeah, Indiana Jones didn't want to live anymore and had to be punched in the face and saved at the end of his movie. His movie. Luke Skywalker died from being sad.
Yeah.
I mean, how many more movies do you have to destroy classic male, masculine characters? This is why you fail.
They don't understand the character, and they think that the character they change the character to match their expectation and politics, and yeah, it just doesn't work.
Well, and it's just the deconstruction. Everything's got to be a deconstruction, or everything's got to be cynical. Everything's got to be an anti-hero, or everything's got to be... Ugh. It just... Go watch good stuff. We recommended some good stuff. Go watch that. Frieren is a female-centered story with a strong female protagonist. Go watch that.
And it's
Yep.
excellent.
Fern, that's her name. Jeez.
Yeah. Don't watch Indiana Jones, the last one, or the one before that.
Well, if you're going to watch the Indiana Jones movies, watch the first three. It's not great to watch the Crystal Skull, but do not go beyond Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull is Shakespeare compared to
Yes.
Dial of Destiny.
Yep.
You know what? That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking back at like the Marvel stuff, and with how bad Marvel is today, like Age of Ultron's pretty good. And I thought it was one of the weakest. And it's like, no, it's
Well,
not
it
bad. It's pretty good, you guys.
By
It was
comparison.
the weakest, and then they released a whole bunch of trash after that.
It's only downhill from here.
Yeah.
Not a news heavy. Everybody's talking about recent shows. The Boys is trending really hard at the moment. I don't know why. It's a terrible show. With the director has deliberately said he's being political. Just
Yep, that's a good sign.
yeah. Yeah, good times. It'll be a tight 2 hours of a podcast. Thoughts, Jason, before we get out of here?
The thing is that we try not to be negative, but there's so much to be negative about. You know what I mean?
Sad world.
We sit there and it takes us a while to find something to be happy about, to be positive about. And most of the time when we come up with something positive, either it's not Western made, or it was made like 20 years ago or older than that. And I just don't see right now when we do get something good like Project Hail Mary, and people are like, "Oh, we need to make more of this kind of stuff." It sets off the warning sign in my head that's like, "Warning, warning! These people don't understand why this is good. They don't understand what's going on here. In order for them to make something that actually will entertain, they're looking at it thinking, oh, we know how to do that." And there's just so much that's
Well, see, they'll go, oh, they like space. So now we're going to have
Right.
a lesbian in space, and everyone's like, ew. It's like, you don't
Right.
understand. Like, you don't understand. It's strong character development. It's likable characters. It's the type of storytelling. It's not overtly political. It doesn't have a message. It doesn't have an agenda. And it's like, come on, really? This is hard for you? But they're so politically captured. This just everything they do is viewed through a lens of identity politics or political messaging or whatever.
Yep.
Everything's political all of the time, every day.
Yep. And it really, when anything new comes out, when they say that we're going to remake this, or we're going to go back to that, or you talk last week we were talking about nostalgia and stuff, and they'll look at doing something like a remake of some show that was good 20 years ago or whatever, or they'll say we need a new movie, but we're going to go back to a previous IP. And it's like you said, they look at that and they think, oh, they like space, or they like action, or they like whatever. They don't look at it and say, the reason this thing was popular was because the characters were good, the story was well written, there was actually a plot there, and they just look at it and think, well, if we just slap this label on it, everybody will come running. We're like, no, that's not exactly how this works here.
Well, that was the biggest problem with like the algorithm for me with Hulu. Because here's the problem. They categorize, like during Pride Month, they categorize all the Pride, like LGBTQ stuff. And that allows me to know exactly which shows to downvote so it doesn't show up in my algorithm. So it knows I'm not going to like any of this. But the problem is it's not sophisticated enough to understand. I don't want to be pushed with gender, sexual politics, all that sort of thing.
Right.
What it does is it goes, oh, he doesn't like action movies. And it's like, no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
I said I don't like that movie. That specific one. And it's just all of these reality, whatever. It's just every single one that they put in the category, I'm just like, downvote. And then they never show up again. They never get recommended again. They don't show up on my Hulu ever again. And I'm like, because I was being lambasted with content that just wasn't for me or my interest. But the algorithm doesn't understand. It doesn't get that I'm not interested in the hyper political gender sex politics sort of thing. What it goes is,
but then
he doesn't like dramas. And it's like, no, that's not what I said. Not at all.
Then it starts not showing you new dramas, new action, new whatever it happens to be, because it thinks that you won't like it because it's an action or a drama or whatever it happens to be. It's not that it's the drama, it's you don't like the politics part.
Well, so that's the stupid part.
Stuff
is there can be gay characters in the story, and the movie's really good. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is good for the first few seasons, and the captain's gay, and it's fine. What I don't want is the point is everything has to be not that there's gay characters in it. I just don't want to be preached to constantly.
Right.
Whatever. And it's just they don't understand the difference. And I think that's how Hollywood will react to it. It's like, we need more space movies, everybody. Get more. We need lesbians in space, everybody. Get lesbians in space. More aliens, more rock aliens, and lesbians in space. It's like, oh my gosh, they're going to learn nothing from this.
Exactly. They're going to learn absolutely nothing.
Space is the new hotness right now. Is it? Sweet. What do you think, Silver?
Or lesbians in space!
Space! Lesbians in space!
We should make a movie that's just called that.
Lesbians
It'll
in
be a
space.
hit.
Yeah? You know, a certain demographic will praise it. We'll probably get an Oscar. No one will see the film. It'll lose money.
Right there.
No one will see it, but we'll get awards.
Yeah, it'll lose money. We will get awards. Prestige awards.
Sweet.
Because in Hollywood,
and then
people
you
fail
put that on your
upwards.
resume, and suddenly people are flocking to you, throwing more money at you.
So I can make more failed films.
Uh-huh.
And eventually, they'll give me so much money that I'll make Wonder Woman 1984. It'll be so bad and lose so much money, I will be persona non grata, and no one will want to give me more movies to do anymore. There goes my career. And then I'll make a studio. The studio I created will have to move from California, and I'll move it to New York. I'll make a bad Batman animated show. So, Silver, what else? What you got for me?
Besides the usual, geez, I sound like a broken record, but shows suck.
Shows do suck.
They're terrible. Anime and K-dramas are doing better, as we stated.
There's a show. Bloodhounds is really, really good on Netflix. Season 2 came out. I haven't watched it yet. Season 1 is a lot of fun. It's just two dudes, two bros trying to make things right by punching their way through gangs.
Oh, heck yeah.
And it's a lot, like your dad would like Bloodhounds if you have Netflix. I don't know if you do.
We do. I'll tell him about
Yeah, Bloodhounds is really good. Season 1. I haven't seen season 2. The season 1's great. And it's just dudes punching people.
See? It's so simple to make a good show.
It's so easy. Just punch your way to... that essentially, Bloodhounds is exactly what Streets of Rage would be if it were a movie. Or for a TV show.
Oh, nice.
It's just street justice.
Awesome.
Just punch your way through the streets. Till you
You
get
ever
to the
see those-
final boss. You get to Mr. X.
Yes. You ever see those clips where it's like the simplicity of men, where it's just like a guy turning to another guy, they're on a beach, it's like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I'm gonna dig a hole.
Yeah. And then
It's just
women
like,
get upset
great.
about it. It's like, why are they digging a hole? And it's like, don't, just let them have fun.
No, I love it. That's what I want from a show. If it was just guys digging a hole, I'd be fine.
Well, somebody posted on Instagram, it was this lady and she took a video of her son dressed up as Spider-Man, and she's like, when does this phase end? And then
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
just inundated with grown men wearing Spider-Man costumes.
Heck
And they're
yeah.
like, it never ends. I'm Spider-Man forever. And then it's like, have you seen all of the stuff on Instagram of guys showing off cool sticks they found? Like
Yes.
grown men showing off how cool the sticks are that they found.
Or just breaking a block of ice.
Yes. Women think we're playing women play 4D chess and they think we're playing 4D chess, but we're not playing chess. We're playing checkers.
I was gonna say play checkers.
We're not even playing the
love
same
Red
game.
Rover or something.
I love that a lot, honestly.
Well, what was
I'll
that?
be like,
That joke
Go
of
ahead.
like the lady gets a translator, where
Oh.
the guy has a woman translator, where it's like,
yes.
oh, you want to go out and get something to eat? And he's like, no. And then she gets upset and she's like, she wants you to want to go. And it's like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
she doesn't want ice cream unless you also want ice cream. And then she gets a translator for her boyfriend and asks him, like, okay, what do you want for dinner? And he's like, I don't know, a burger. And then the translator pops up and he's like, yeah, he means that.
Yeah. Well, and then he goes, what's wrong? He's like, I'm fine. And she goes,
Oh, yeah.
does it mean that? He's like, he's fine.
Yeah, it means he's fine. He's not kidding.
Well, and not to be gender about it, but it's like, we're not trying to deceive you. We're not playing complicated, like, oh, but what does he mean? It's like, I told you what I meant. Like, specifically, I told you what I meant. I don't know why you're
Yeah.
upset about it, but that's exactly what I meant.
We think you're hiding behind, like, some philosophical thing.
Or
Uh,
we're playing like 4D chess or something. It's like, we're not really. Like,
yeah.
we're pretty straightforward, you
When-
guys.
When they asked the man the question, what are you thinking about? And he's like, nothing. It's like, technically, he probably wasn't thinking of anything. Nothing in particular.
Yeah, he's just La
letting
La
his mind
Land.
wander.
Well, there's one lady on social media that she got upset that once a year, her husband goes out and takes a bunch of the old letters and stuff that they don't need anymore, and he burns them in a fire and sits on his back porch and drinks. And she's like, I don't get it. Why does he need to be by himself? And it's like, just let him be. He wants to quietly
burning
watch the
stuff.
fire.
Let the man burn.
See, exactly. Let the man burn stuff. See, the funny thing is, Silver has been raised too much around guys like her dad and
Yeah,
me.
that's true.
Uh-huh.
Me. She understands we're not actually trying to deceive anybody. I'm having fun. I don't know.
Really short, funny story from a lab I'm in this semester. A bunch of, like, the girls I sit near there's like a group of guys who sit at their own table, just a whole bunch of them, and I think they're hilarious. And all of them are just like, what are they doing? They're just goofing off. And I'm like, no, they're doing their stuff. They're joking around while they're doing it, but they're doing their work. Like, one guy will just be like, man, I wish I brought my hacky sack. I just think it's so funny.
We try and have fun.
Yep.
No. We hate each other for like a day and we're best friends. Meanwhile, we hate each other.
Yeah. What was that? The Blue Harvest, when Family Guy did the Star Wars spoof, and Leia shows up at the meeting and she's like, "Look, it's Mon Mothma, the only other woman in the galaxy." And there's a pause and she goes, "I don't like her."
So funny.
Are you gonna bring up the nah, I completely forget what the Family Guy joke one was, but you sent it to me.
Oh,
Something about-
what they meet at school, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, how's it going?" It's like, "I'm fine," and she starts screaming and runs out and jumps out the window, and the other girl goes, "You're awful," and then
Oh,
you get
yeah.
this little thing, "Men, we don't know what we did." It's like, yeah, stop
Hey,
complicating.
how's your day? Don't know. You did-
You're awful. I didn't do it. I don't know what you're doing.
You're a horrible person. What I do?
I used to have that problem with past relationships. I'd be like, yeah, I don't like that. And then later have to be a thing again. I'd be like, no, I mean, I said I didn't like it.
I wasn't kidding. I just
I know why you try to make this complicated. I don't like it. Good times. Let's ruin gender relationships, everybody. I
This is
am.
why my alter ego's name is misogynistic.
Awesome.
I should make that a
You're like the Uncle Tom of women.
There we go.
Well, we better get out of here before we offend more people. Have a good day. Have a good week, everybody, and go and watch or play or do something that you actually like, and stop trying to force yourself to like stuff because it's not good. None of it's good.
It's not good. Yeah.
Look for good stuff. It's out there. It's hiding. But we better end this podcast. You know what? If you listen to the podcast, try and tell me about stuff you like. Recommend stuff to other people that is good. And maybe I'll get a chance to look into it. Do that in the comments. That's a good idea. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. I actually thought a good way to convince people to like, comment, and subscribe is say, if you don't, you're gay.
That's right. Like, comment, subscribe, you're gay.
That's right. That'll get them to do it.
Like, comment, subscribe, or you're a lesbian space witch. Ha!
Oh no.
Better subscribe.
The power of money. Let's get out of here.
If you like the show, follow Rhett, Jason, Ross, and Silver, the world's most lethally stupid internet personalities, on Twitter at DG Podcast or on Instagram at Distracted Gamers. If you liked or hated what you heard here today, you can email them at thedistractedgamers@gmail.com and share your feelings. Not that Jason would care, since he hasn't any, of course.